Hey everyone, welcome to the Blak and Mild podcast. I am your host Reginald. Joining me is Savannah. Hey Savannah, how are you doing?
Hey, great.
Hey, doing well. First of all, hold up. Before we even go into this, we gotta shout out somebody here. I don't know if you guys, so anyone in the OP community know, yo, Anissa, yo, shout out to Anissa.
She's
Yo,
my girl.
where have you been at?
Yeah.
Like, I've been what? Okay, so I'm hyped.
I
Okay,
still talk to her almost every day.
I'm
Just
offended.
bragging.
He doesn't talk to me. This is mean. So shout out to Anissa. Shout out to Prem. Prem.
Yes.
Yeah, Prem also has. If you guys haven't checked it out, he actually had an episode with me as well. So which was really cool. I think that was a pretty cool one. So you guys check that out. And then let me see. Oh, shout out to Gray. Like and subscribe. She has a new personality system going. I don't know if you knew that, Savannah.
Oh,
So the augmented personality, yeah, that's like her thing. So yeah,
nice.
shout out to her, like
This
and
stuff chicken.
subscribe. Yeah, for sure. So let us do this. And oh, she's been teaching. Okay, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It's a busy
Um,
time.
Vanessa, you're gonna join the podcast inevitably. Okay, just add that to your NI real quick. Okay.
This is like
So
when Anessa shouted me out to Kendrick, and then I ended up on his show.
yeah,
It's just paying it forward, right?
nice. So let me just kind of set the stage here. So really quick. So for actually I've had people who've been watching the show recently who are not into objective personality, so I do feel like I need to kind of give a recap just in case. So first and foremost, this podcast is quite frankly like me just trying to have good conversations, like just conversations I enjoy. That's the priority. If I don't like you, you're not on here. That's just kind of the vibe. All right, so
Right.
let's just start with that. Now, with that being said, all the people that have been on the show so far are from the objective personality community. The objective personality is a successor or an augment to the MBTI typology system that's very popular. Their whole goal is they pretty much want to transition MBTI to the scientific community. And their primary method of doing so is they want to do double blind testing where they put people in separate rooms. They get statistically significant and reliable results. And then they're basically going to show that to the scientific community at some point and then kind of kick off the process of getting into AI, genetics, and all that fun stuff. So it's still in beta, but there's a lot of great terminology, a lot of great definitions that I found very useful, and a lot of people on the Facebook and the Discord have found very useful. So that's how I've met everyone that I've talked to on the show so far. And Savannah is definitely one of them. One last thing, I don't know Savannah, so I don't know if do you have like a phone by you?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want, what you can do is you can actually go to the like YouTube, put the volume low, and then go on the live chat so you can see it. That seems to be the
Ooh.
the new
All right.
hack. Yeah.
Cool.
So we'll both be able to see your live chats. Feel free to kind of comment and ask questions. I kind of get tunnel vision though, so it's like, I'm kind of prioritize
Mm.
talking to Savannah, but if I notice anything or Savannah, if you notice anything, feel free and I could just throw it up on the screen for everybody to see. So without further ado, so Savannah, it has been a while since Discord, let's put it that way. So great to
Yep.
see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
trying to do what you said.
yeah. I mean, don't get too distracted there. I know you got SE. Um, okay, okay. You have a lot of people here. Yeah, people like you a lot. So let's start with this. So the way we met, let's just start with like how we met and first impressions. I don't know if I'm just maybe um super insecure about this. My understanding is that everyone I've met, I fought at the beginning in the OP community. So everyone I had a fight with or had bad vibes with or had an argument with, and they hated me and I hated them. And it's just like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna take an L for 3 months and then we're friends. So I'm actually curious for my own sake, if nothing else, was that the case with this?
I
No?
think we were good at first. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I am close friends with Ami Lee, your type twin. So I already
Mhm.
was like, oh, cool. I wonder if he has her same vibe, or how interesting to like meet a type twin, be and yeah, I don't know. I think I pretty good vibe from you right away. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, no, so I'm trying to remember. So if I'm remembering correctly, the way I met you, and like, so look, like I'm an awkward dude, so if I say some awkward things, you got to call me out. Like, just do it. But I remember, so I think initially how I got an awareness of you was through the Facebook, right? I don't think we spoke necessarily, but I knew you would comment, occasionally. Um, and then I think you also were like doing like whether it was interviews with I think Kendrick. I think you did one with Dave of all people as well.
Yeah, yeah,
And I don't know if you did one with Benjamin or not. I don't think I saw that if you did.
I did.
But I remember like if I'm being honest, my first impression was, oh yeah, this person's attractive, great for her. I'm glad. I support all the attractive people in the world, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, cool. Like this is an attractive person. It's a really like pleasing to the eyes, and that's great. Let me move on with my life. But I think the Discord was where it really we started interacting, whether it was through chat or through you would occasionally jump into the voice channel. Um, and my impression, and it still is the case, and I'm curious to see, how you respond to this. Is I think my lasting impression is that first of all, you have a very like kind like soul. I don't know how to word that. Like you have a very kind vibe, but you're very protective of people,
Yeah.
right? Like so, if you see like the moment you see someone being even potentially bullied, it's like, okay, Savannah's coming. I already know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, she's coming somewhere. Like, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but she's gonna see this and she's gonna jump in. So I'm also curious to see like, what your feedback is on that.
Um, I yeah, I guess I don't. I feel responsible for the environment, um, and part of that probably is like yeah, I feel like these are my people to a point. Like so, like with
Mhm.
Discord, if I was a regular, which I well, I still go on, but it wasn't like it's not as frequent as it was. But I kind
Right.
of like really built friendships with people, and I kind of claim them as mine.
Okay.
And we learned a lot from our back and forth and talking about objective personality. So I feel responsible for the environment to be a safe one.
Hmm.
And when someone steps on someone's feelings, maybe they aren't always aware of it.
Okay.
And then sometimes, I mean, I've just seen it a ton, like in my own life with my like friends and family, that they don't always speak up when things really hurt them, and then maybe they leave, so they're like done.
Right.
And that is a trigger for me. Like, hey, this is not okay. We can do better. And sometimes that person who accidentally stepped on a boundary wasn't aware of it, and so I'll just kind of call it out, but it's to de-escalate it, because sometimes it can be like a more like I secretly am mad at this person and I avoid them all the time and I'm not going to talk about it, and then it becomes like a drama thing. I don't
Hmm.
know. I just don't want to. Let's just
Yeah.
get it out in the open, call you out. You can say you're sorry. They can kind of get over it too. And then it actually, I don't know, back and forth, different opinions. I
Yeah.
think it clears the room in a good way, and then it makes it so that we can come back to like a normalcy quicker.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, yes. I don't my like I see so many ways this conversation could go. Sorry. Like it's like, but I definitely there's a lot there. But I mean, first and foremost, I mean, that's definitely something that I think you like have built into your character, which is really good. I think the first area I wanted to go with this, and like unfortunately I'm gonna have to go dive directly into terminology. So for anyone who's not familiar with OP, we'll do our best, but I would honestly suggest, if there's any terms that you're confused by, either like leave a comment, or like I would actually recommend going to their YouTube channel and like maybe looking for that. But so
People
this
in the comments might be able to clear it up too if they need it.
right. So one of the things that's really kind of striking me is this kind of proactive deterrent
Yeah.
strategy to conflict, right? So in the OP system, this would be very much associated with masculine DE, actually,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What's interesting to me is that I have had the opposite problem for like most, if not all of my life, right? Which is I let things stew. I let, like little, because the philosophy is, oh, well, if it's not a big deal, then I can let it slide. But you're building up a lot of things. So I was curious. I mean, have you been, um,
Recipient of that?
yes.
Yep.
I mean, so I mean, do you have
So
an
I
example?
mean, not only like family members, but I live in a state that is a little more passive aggressive, like as a culture. So sometimes that was a
Okay.
little more I don't know what the word is. Not taken well when I was younger.
Okay.
And then I kind of figured out when and where to do it
Okay.
so that it's more well received. And then you can just preface with, like, hey, I'm not going after your character. I just want to resolve the conflict before,
Right.
it becomes a thing. So you're upset. Clearly, you're upset. Can we talk about this?
Right.
And then, like, do you need to go fix this with somebody?
Right.
Because you should just do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Action. Take
Now,
action quickly before it becomes a big thing, and then you don't ever talk to each other again.
right.
That's something we want. And when it comes to like a group dynamic, like we still all want to be friends and want to learn from each other, even if this guy doesn't particularly like this guy. Like
Right.
you can still be on like good terms and not have them be your like favorite person.
Right. So I guess my follow-up question was, so it's interesting that you like kind of learned how to almost tone down that punch, or that like now, but is your default more like aggressive? Like I'm curious to see how you would see that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, like is it like
I
how
wouldn't
aggressive?
say aggressive because maybe that is it sounds more angry
Oh, okay.
and attacking.
Well,
And
yeah.
I say that mine is more just quick to speak, too quick to speak.
Hmm.
And so the actual like self control that I've learned to regulate, and obviously, hot, hungry, or tired, sometimes that still comes out. But learning self control for me is like learning restraint in not speaking quickly or harshly,
Okay.
and to hold back and to kind of like wait until it's appropriate or until it'll be better received, because I think it still needs to be said a lot of times, but in the manner in which it's said, even if it's full masculine TE, if I have a better timing for it, then it actually is like received and understood out of like care
Right.
instead of
Right.
harsh, embarrassing, angry, you know,
Right.
that's how it could have been taken. Even if I
Right.
have no feelings for how I'm saying it, like this is like I think people think that masculine TE is coming out of anger, and there's
Right.
actually no emotion like at all. It's just like
Really?
neutral call out. Yeah.
I mean, could you like elaborate a little bit? Because like I'm like for me, when I yell, I'm always mad at you. Let's just be clear, guys. It's like every time. So I'm curious, like, how is that possible? You know?
So I mean, I have double masculine blast.
Okay.
So I will raise in intensity
Okay.
and I'm very direct about it and I get more and more, and then it's not angry, but it's like passionate sometimes.
Okay. I mean,
And
are you?
people don't want to talk to me and they won't look in the eye.
Okay. I mean, are you doing that like quite literally just to affect the other person, but it's like you're like almost like a tactic? Is that how you feel internally when you're doing that?
Internally, I just got on a roll. Like
Okay,
I
okay.
am, and I
Right,
should have hopped off the train a while ago, but I
right,
am just hammering a point that I'm
right,
excited about.
right.
And yeah, it didn't go over well as a child either.
Okay.
Um, I wouldn't say my mom was afraid of me, but she definitely would like
Okay.
become a lamb, like
Okay.
what did I do? But I mean, you read people's body language and know you did something wrong,
Right.
and then
Well,
you learn to correct.
well, following up on that, so kind of sticking with this theme of masculine TE, one of the biggest things I've seen with at least other people in masculine TE in my life is they feel held back almost, right? Because they're almost walking on eggshells for the rest of the world. Do you feel that way or
I, I mean, it's funny because I'm a mom.
okay.
So I can see people's face when I say it harshly, and
Okay.
then I have to preface. So I've actually gotten in the habit of like, I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not saying this to be harsh. And then it's well received. But I mean, yes, it depends on who it is. Because sometimes I can tell if I can be more direct with them. And
Hmm.
if it's someone who takes it very harshly, then I have to talk to them a little more like
Right.
they're a glass jar. You have to be careful. And
Right.
then I really do, change my tone, change my demeanor, soften. And I have to say that like inside because I mean, and then that is when, I guess I'm using more of the FI.
Okay. Okay, interesting. So I think Bill so I think I man, this is so hard because there's just too much. I've actually never so fun fact, I've never experienced this on like a show before. Where it's like because usually I have like a general understanding of where it's gonna go. This one it's like there's actually a lot here. So where yeah, I know it's I'm sorry, like where I do think would be worth kind of building upon. So sticking with this theme of you're kind of de-escalating conflict with the masculine TE,
Yeah.
do you incorporate your masculine NI at all? Are you kind of playing out a trajectory in your mind? Well, actually, I don't know how masculine NI works, but are you incorporating that in these type of conversations? And if so, like how's that playing a factor?
Um, so, I mean, with play energy, I want to ask questions and kind of mine for clues.
Okay.
So I don't know what they're thinking, but I can like try to mine for this. And then if it fits into like a pattern I can kind of see or
Hmm.
something I've experienced, then I kind of go, oh, okay, this is where they're coming from. This is what is going on with them. And then it actually opens up to like a more I don't want to just say just empathy, but I'm just talking about like getting on the same page. Like I see you, I understand what's going on with you.
Right.
And it's not always my job to give them advice necessarily, but if I'm just trying to call out what's going on or de-escalate a problem, then the masculine and I starts building blocks to like some sort of solution that can be actionable.
Hmm.
Because instead of like, yeah, and I guess that's me being different than any, where it doesn't just keep building, it starts to like form a pattern that I can see. And
Okay.
then it seems like I can give like better
Okay.
advice.
Interesting. Do you so okay, so I do have two questions. So prior to like when we were doing our prep, I know you mentioned, hey, your show seems to be about self-growth, right? Which like so can you explain like how did you do that? Like, you know?
Well, I knew I wasn't going to be able to watch all your shows by the time we had our interview. So I actually just it's kind of
Uh-oh.
embarrassing. So I listened to a couple of them, but then I just kind of skipped to like the 40-minute mark
Mm.
because that's when people are a little more like
Right, right,
real
right.
honest. And it just seemed like the pattern I was seeing actually was like that people started to open up about things that they had been learning about themselves because of objective personality. And that just seemed like it just seemed like you were kind of sleep processing them as a person and then kind of almost, I don't know. It's like if there's an any concept that this person keeps going around, then you start to like pull up the thread of it.
Hmm. Okay.
But
Interesting.
so that's
Yeah.
why I thought it was kind of a little bit of self growth. And
No,
it's
that,
things
yeah.
that you would like to also pick up from, which I think is because you're a growth minded person.
Oh, I appreciate that. So just following up with that, whether it's for the de-escalation or just like people in general, is your masculine NI coming to patterns about like specific people or trend? Like do you have like an NI for each person in your life, for example?
No.
No. Okay.
I can see how they do certain things a certain way, but I'm also like I don't want to be boxed in just one box. So
Right.
I don't ever want to box someone else in that way as well. But I can see what could work based on what I know, and sometimes I do tend to point toward similar advice when they're in the same situation.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's pretty good. Um,
Yeah, there's definitely a don't box me in feeling
okay.
in me. So
Okay.
I never ever want to do that to other people.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that? And I guess just as a broader question, like could you just like talk a little bit about how you experience maybe your saviors and your demons, like that relationship? Because I know we were kind of getting super technical, but like for
Okay.
example, how do you experience your I guess your SE at this point? Like
Yeah. So I didn't understand SE, especially feminine SE. I was like, is
mhm.
this even a savior? But yeah. SE is like panoramic sensory. And
Okay.
it also includes like smells, sounds. Um, yeah, and I do want to get as many facts as I can for a little bit before I can narrow it down.
Okay.
So um, it's also kind of floaty. It's really funny. So I don't want it to just be like one thing. I want it to kind of stay a little open. Like I never want it to be fully I don't know. I've just noticed that masculine sensory is more precise
Okay.
and mine seems to be more I don't know. Like if we were going to use like colors, it's like if you named a soft yellow
Okay.
5, 10, 15 different color names for a soft yellow. Like I'm
Okay.
just comfortable keeping it like it's a soft yellow. And maybe someone with masculine sensory would say ecru. Wait, that's
Right.
but you know what I mean.
Right. I do know what you mean. I think so that sounds almost like intuition then. And I think we had a conversation around like I think you thought no, I'm saying I think we had a conversation before where you were saying, hey, feminine sensory sounds like intuition to other people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I mean, so I guess how would you distinguish between feminine sensory and intuition and your intuition, I guess?
Um well, I mean I really just do want to read the room and collect like facts. in order before I put it in an NI pattern. So I really am like scanning the room.
Right, the panorama, got it.
Yeah, and I sometimes will get irritated with someone with NI who didn't check the facts first,
Hmm.
because that's just not accurate, you know? So, I mean, you want to be accurate even if you're going for like a permanent type pattern.
Right,
That's where my mind goes.
right, okay.
So then masculine and I, yeah, I don't know. It's like it's like trying to distill the sensory into a more concrete pattern.
Mm.
And then there's like organizing, there's like brainstorming. It's like an imaginary world sometimes.
Right.
But it's something that I want to be more solid. I want it to be like a non-negotiable, so I want it to be correct.
Right.
But I don't want it to be just an SI list.
Hmm.
It needs to be conceptual for me to even like be able to hold on to it.
Can you like? What do you mean? Like it has to be conceptual.
I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, all right, that's fine. You don't have to. Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to. Um, I'm actually so sorry. I'm like literally just looking at this live chat. So, um, I guess so. Here's a question for you. Following up on that,
With any that didn't get
I
didn't the
I
facts
guess that's
first.
any. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I bet it's any.
Yes,
Just
let's
guess.
assume it's any.
Um. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're driving really hard with your any idea, and you're not like checking any facts, like to me, you lose credibility.
Mm.
I'm not gonna help people follow your idea. Have you gotten mad at MI? MI? Oh no, and that's a no. But you're double activated SC, so you're right. It's
Right,
very.
right, right. So doesn't even count. Okay, so um, talk to me a little bit more about. So basically, I think we're gonna flesh out like the basics of your type, and then probably do a contrast.
Sure.
So just finishing up with like the basics. So the FI for you is not only feminine, but it's the least I don't know how to word it. The least activated.
Least activated. It's just a
Okay.
shriveled raisin.
What the- okay. So what? So how? What do you? What is going on with that shriveled raisin then? Like,
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, I just didn't. It didn't give me problems until I was
okay,
older.
okay,
Because to be a functional person, you just put like small deposits in FI. Like I know I liked this sweater. I know. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I also grew up like in you know a Christian family, so there was that challenge to grow and to develop your faith, and
mm,
so some of those things probably grounded me more than I have got given credit in the
yeah,
past. Um, but I guess I don't know. I mean, the other thing is I've just surrounded myself with people who um, they appreciate. Sorry, I made a weird noise. They appreciated that I was for them and that they were on my team to move forward with my plan or like organize this thing and it's going to be great. And then they helped me. And then in turn, I would find people who were looking out for my FI for me so that I
mm,
didn't have to. So I was kind of lazy in that way. But if you like have a team, I guess, we read about or learn about some of the alphas and they have someone else helping with their blind spot. And that's like
mm.
essentially what I was doing. I was just like farming it out.
Right.
um, sorry, I was trying to make it funny. Um,
Sorry, I'm like I'm like super info dom, so yeah, my bad. I'm sure it landed. My bad. Sorry.
okay, so it wasn't until like my late 20s that like okay, I was married,
Okay.
I had children, and you know, there are just so many regular demands for life that that's when I'm not doing any of my last functions. So I wasn't consuming for myself. I was still just farming for, why do I keep saying the word farming? Okay, but I was distilling the information just to get the answers that I needed. Or I was buying just for exactly what we needed for this task anyway,
Mhm.
or for my children, or for this or that. And I wasn't even aware that I was neglecting myself to the point where not only was I not doing the consume, but I wasn't even doing the sleep sometimes. Like I wasn't processing everything. I was just fast paced, playback blast, taking on the world,
Mhm.
taking on all my responsibilities, you know, work, marriage. And I was in charge of different organizations too, like
Mhm.
leading meetings, and um, that was when I just was like, I hit a wall. I hit it pretty hard, and I was thinking that it was everybody else's fault. Like nobody
Mhm.
was helping me with my blind spot, and maybe they all saw it coming, and I didn't. But like, I was like, guys, come on, why didn't you? But it's my responsibility. I need to be looking out for me as well, and I need to be pacing myself, and I need to be, yeah, reading, buying things that I need, prepared for the next steps, whatever it is, and not just preparing everyone else for all their stuff, including my children, but preparing myself for each new stage, because that's what happened. It was like I was in a new stage of life. I can't remember what it was, but like, yeah, I was at a new stage of life, a new venture, and it hit me in the face that I was just like not prepared at all to deal
Mhm.
with it for myself. So that's consume last.
Yeah, and the FI. Wow.
And the FI. And I have like soft feelings, and it's annoying.
Yeah, isn't this shit annoying? Like the fuck? Like I think my motto might I think one of my mottos in life might be feelings can go die. I think I'm gonna like trademark that.
I just wish I could get it uninstalled sometimes. Like I'll put
Right?
it back
Like
later,
it's like yeah, it's
but
like
it's just very inconvenient at certain times.
yeah, like all the time. Like but yeah, really appreciate you sharing that. I think that's really important. So I guess so okay, so part of you developing the FI for you was I mean, yeah, taking more responsibility and like you mentioned preparing yourself and doing things that you like. Is it that simple or when it comes to the FI for you?
Um, I mean, it's just preparing for anything life will throw at you, including like
Okay.
death, or
Okay.
people betraying you, or
You prepare for that?
well, I am now.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't at the time.
Right. Right.
Because like, yeah, my internal compass, my internal um, who I am when I'm alone, needs to be able to fully stand on its own.
Mm,
And for a long time, I just thought, oh yeah, I'm a very strong person. I'm just fine. But I was still only just the TE person, and I didn't even like who I was like alone, because it's like, what do you even? I don't know how to explain it. Um, Yeah, even if somebody like asks me like, so what do you want to do? Like, I still have trouble answering that question.
Yeah.
And some of it is very floaty anyway. So I don't really have like
Right.
one thing. I can kind of go along with like whatever until I realize like, oh, actually I hate this. I gotta get out of here.
Right.
I didn't know until I tried it.
Yeah.
um Trying to think of what else demon-ify looks like. Yeah, I guess I don't always know, but I was gonna say that when it's weak, it just sucks, and it's just like a little tiny person. So it's like having like a fully developed like my TE is almost like very mature,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the little FI came out before I started working on it more, it really is like a lot like a child. It's just so at the time it was so underdeveloped when I realized like this is what's going on.
Right.
I'm like yeah, like a child that needs their blankie or something. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know. It,
Yeah.
it felt pitiful at the time, but I had to like let those things be. I just really want salt and vinegar chips, or I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of chocolate and just do what I want for a little bit. And like I'd have to be the adult and the child and like give myself permission, like,
Yeah.
you're allowed to do this. And then over time I kind of saw that FI saviors, they did that and then they moved on. They were like, oh, I actually want bigger things for my life. Like, I mean, it gets branched out into like morals or, I mean, not that my morals weren't already there, but
Mhm.
just like the convictions and the more broader. I lost what I was saying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, you're doing great. Um. So okay, I guess I'll share. Well, if you remember, then feel free to like jump back in. Um. I think with masculine, there are people who have savior masculine TE in my life, like, and yeah, I see that like the with the feminine FI, and it hurts like to see, especially when they're in that demon state, because it does. It's like, yeah, you said like a tiny child, like it feels that way to even like even from the outside. Um, and it's painful. Like it's for me watching that, it's painful. Like, and I don't like seeing that. I don't know what like I don't know what to do with that though, like as an outside force, right? Because I think with FI is one of those things that seems to be like only FI can heal FI almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
like so it's like, what do you do? Like,
Yeah. Just being alone. Unfortunately, that's what happens. And even if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work on this, leave me alone. Somebody walks in, like, flipped it off. I already flipped it off. Can't
mm,
always get it back. I'm like trying real hard to focus and work something out. Cause like I have to kind of process it and then I know what to read or what to buy or what to do next or how to deal with it. Um, and then it really is like if someone walks in, they need something, and it's like a
right,
switch. And I lost all the progress I made.
right. So yeah, it's almost like a distraction. So it's like, and that's an interesting thing for me. It's like, yeah, so it's like sleep. That's sleep. It's like to for it to heal itself, you almost can't be interrupted by another person because yeah, especially if it's yeah, because you lose it because then you're like, oh, what do they need? Yeah, I wow,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm the go to person. So, of course, they're
yeah,
going to go to me. It's like, oh, I created a monster.
yeah, yeah. We do have a question following up on that.
Do you track how often you get mixed feelings? So this is interesting. So I did. I had a planner and I would like write down Like I'd try to identify certain things that I was feeling, and then I had like a journal, which I didn't always use regularly, but it just helped me kind of like circle back and realize like, hey, this keeps happening.
Yeah.
This weird mixed feelings thing, and it is like unresolved. Like I just left it like hanging, like I don't know what this is, and then to see that leaving it hanging just made it come back and come back and come back and come back. And it really is kind of being irresponsible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I was just being more serious about, I mean, are we gonna call it a cry routine? That's kind of what it was. It was like journaling and dealing with stuff. Um, that's when I like started to make connections and uncover like what was really going on. And guys, it's me. I thought maybe it was like everybody else, or I had to solve this problem. And sometimes it's my attitude or how I saw it from the beginning.
Mm.
And taking responsibility of that, naming it, because I don't want to dismiss my own like FI feelings, but sometimes, wow, they're irrational. You should still name it, and you should still be aware that these are frustrating things, because they are, but still not valid.
Right.
I mean, a lot of feelings are valid, but some of them aren't. And it's important for growth to like be aware of that.
No, they should just all die. Oh, that's
Oh,
the
they should all die.
they should just all die.
Nuke
That's how
them.
this should work. No, no,
But
that's
they
really.
do go away after you've resolved it. That's the interesting thing. They
I don't
really
know.
do like, oh, okay, we're good.
Right, right, right. I definitely don't do that. You're definitely way more adult when it comes to your FI than me. Like I'm not.
Tell your friends. No, I'm just kidding.
Tell my friends.
I'm just joking.
I don't understand. Okay. I missed it. Sorry.
I was trying to. Never
I
mind.
no, actually, this is a good segue because so I think um what I did want to do anyway was kind of like compare and contrast us. You're energy dominant and I'm info dominant, so I'm a
Mm-hmm.
boring like person. And apparently you're super interesting. Like, do you like how would you describe that difference between energy dominant and info dominant? Because I'm like even like I'm seeing it now as we're talking, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the energy is like,
Mhm.
and then the capacity to take in is just not as good. And it is like having to take pit stops
Mm.
throughout the day to like be able to keep up. But it's also like kind of, I don't know, my energy is bouncy. So it's like, oh yeah, let's do this. And then I just have to go. You know what I mean? I gotta go do something else when it's just petered out. And if I stay doing what I don't have energy to do, I regret it and I
Yep.
get an attitude.
Yep.
And then it was just a waste of time anyway. But if I can go back to doing that thing or studying it or with fresh eyes, it's so much more efficient. And yeah, so like my dad's infodom, my husband is, and one of my children are. And it is interesting to see how long they can keep going with a thing. And
Mhm.
like, in some ways, you could say that they have a superhuman ability to get things done.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I'm not lazy,
I
but I
don't think
think
you're lazy.
sometimes that
Or-
could be the perception if I have to like switch. I just switch gears to doing something else. If I need like a
right.
decompression, I just switch to something that would serve me for that time. So like
Yeah. So what's interesting about that is like for me it's all or nothing. Like I'm
Mhm.
either completely like I would have entire vacations where I think my uncle is like one of my uncles is like blast play. He would look at me like the laziest person on the planet because it's like yo, I'm not moving off this couch.
Right.
It's either just that for 3 months or it's I'm burning myself out to the ground for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. And
There's no middle.
describe my dad, so I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't make sense. Like, because it's like even while I'm doing it, I'm like, I probably should take a break, which is interesting. I don't know if you experienced that on the info side, but like on the energy side, I definitely feel like, oh yeah, I mean, maybe a nap would be good. And I do like naps though. So it's like, I mean, there are moments where I'll take like mini pit stops, but I will feel guilty every time I do it. It's not like natural.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like, oh, I'm doing it, but I shouldn't be. And it's like you're almost forcing yourself, as opposed to I think the energy dominant is a more organic. No,
Yeah.
no,
And
it's
the planner in me wants to prepare for what's next too. So I'll kind of structure my day loosely to kind of go with this is more important. So before that, I want time to
nice.
prepare or decompress or fuel up with, you know, something to eat. I don't know.
That sounds so smart. I don't do that. God damn it! I should probably start doing that. I don't do that. I don't even think about that. I like
My
I it didn't-
daughter's sleep last too, so it's
yeah,
funny to see it in action with like such a tiny person.
yeah.
Because I'm like,
It's like
oh, you really need to. I don't know. I think you need to play in your room for a little bit. But she'll be like, no, no, no. I can keep going. And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. It's weird. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's probably some pros to it. Shifting gears a little bit. So one of the other major differences between us and I think also your husband, if you're, is the masculine FI versus the feminine FI. So it's like I know you kind of went in depth with the feminine FI, but how do you see masculine FI? Like, how would you compare and contrast the two and those type of things?
yeah. So it took me a while to really see the differences because I think out of the gate you kind of just see like stronger convictions or well this is the way it should go, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
reasons should. It's
Yeah.
like I prefer it this way should.
Yep.
And then like over time the contrast has very much been like my FI is total like it's movable. It's negotiable. I have like a I don't know, like a flexibility or I can kind of change my mood like to a point. And I've seen it in yeah, like my husband and then one of my children who's also actually maybe two. I don't know.
Okay.
It's like yeah, it's like a boulder. You
Yeah.
can't move those emotions. You
Yeah.
can't move that conviction.
Yeah.
You have to go around it, or you have to go with it.
Yeah.
And then there's like just a little bit of like, everyone, please do not take this the wrong way, but there's just
Uh-oh.
a little bit of judgmental coming from
Yep.
masculine FI.
100%. I'm gonna say yes. I agree.
Okay.
That's why I start fights with everybody. It's like, dude, I don't like you. That's just how it starts. I'm like, oh yeah, just you shouldn't exist. That's how it feels. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Okay, but I turn this light on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is it too bright?
No, it's fine.
Okay, you let me know if I'm. Oh, that is weird. That did not go well.
No, it's a little bit.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
There we go. Nice. So building on that, so yeah, masculine FI does not move for anyone. Like, and it's funny. Well, I think it moves, and I think we had a conversation around this. the only time it moves is when you're very high. It's a very high maintenance function. Like you gotta be like, okay, well, what are you willing to move on? And it's like, oh no, I don't want to. Like, it's just like, I'm like, what? I don't understand.
Sometimes you can't even negotiate. It's just like, nope, I am stuck with this
Yeah,
situation. And then it's like yes or no questions. Like, so are you willing to do this?
yeah,
Mm-mm. Are you willing to do that? Mm-mm.
yeah, yeah. It's like it's
Okay, good thing I'm the movable one, I guess.
yeah, it's like the little kid just doesn't want to eat. Like that kind of archetype.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm trying to feed this thing. I'm like, yo, what are you? Why are you fighting me on this? Like, I don't understand.
I just want to I want to do it with you. I want to work with you.
Yeah, it just
But
doesn't work.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's just done. Sometimes there's just
yeah.
you're just done.
Now,
And
have you?
I
So
sympathize though. I mean, that's hard. That's
it,
hard to deal with.
it's annoying. It's annoying. Now with masculine FI, at least from the limited amount that I've seen in the OP community, and then especially like with Dave Powers in particular, what I've seen associated with it is this kind of like anger or aggression, like not only just this high maintenance thing, but like almost like a attachment to anger or like rage, very intense, like attacking emotions. I don't know if you've experienced that as well.
Cat mode. Yeah, where
Oh, okay.
claws come out. Where it was
Yeah.
like seem like everything is fine, and then there's passive aggression, and then it's like, hey, I mean, just come out and say it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to do all this like door slamming or
Mm-hmm.
stomping or closing the kitchen door loudly.
Yeah, yeah.
Just say it, and then
Yeah.
they're coming for your livelihood. No, I'm just kidding. But like,
I think you're telling the truth. I think that's how it.
you were born, not just
Yeah, that's how it
you
feels.
did that thing wrong. No.
Yeah, masculine FI is like it's the most. I'm like, is it the most
I'm
petty function?
exaggerating. By the
I'm
way,
not.
Pat, everybody, I do love masculine FI. Okay, I married one, but I'm exaggerating to make a point. Okay.
I'm not exaggerating. I 100% feel this way. So I'm a own it. So because like I
Okay.
think so with my masculine FI, and I think with some other people's masculine FI, it's like I wonder if it's super petty because like the moment it gets irritated, it wants to eliminate that.
The
It
petty.
wants to eliminate it from the earth. I'm so serious. It's like, okay, this guy or this gal or this whatever pronoun you prefer pissed me off. Now they have to die. Like that is legitimately the energy that's going through my body. Now, of course, I would never do anything.
Right, right.
Of
No, you're
course,
not actually gonna.
metaphorically, of course. But yeah, no. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I need this person to like go to Siberia or something in their underwear or something, because it's like that I cannot have this person exist in my space. You know?
Okay, so imagine this being a 7-year-old girl though with masculine FI
Oh God.
because she is so funny the way that she had like a bad dream and I can't remember what it was, but I think it was geese that were
Okay.
evil and they
Oh,
attacked kitties. I don't know. I'm sorry. My point is to work it out. I was like, you could draw something where it ends happy. And she was like, okay. And she drew these ducks on fire. Like she wanted them to burn.
yeah.
And it made her feel better.
That's a mood. Yep. Yep. Me and your 7-year-old daughter are friends. That's exactly the mood. Like, yeah. That's because it feels good. I like, and it sounds really sadistic. Actually, I guess that is the right. That's the exact word I need. It's a
Literal
very
sadistic, yeah.
it's a very sadistic function at times, and I'm like, you know, and it's really weird to be around. I guess so. I guess for you, so actually, this I never considered this. How does your masculine TE deal with masculine FI when it's starting to, become like a problem for whether it's the community or like does that work, or is that like a
Nope.
unstoppable force meeting an immovable object type of
Hmm.
situation.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that is stalemate. I've
Okay.
tried though. I just hammer the reasons,
Yeah.
but they're not gonna be receptive to any of the reasons because this isn't even the issue. And I'm
Yeah.
talking past them anyway, but I'm trying to help, but it's not.
Right.
No. That's why, yeah. So, yeah, 7-year old, why don't you draw?
Right.
How you can work it out.
Right. Right. Wow.
Because you have to go a different function, like entirely. You just,
Right.
but I mean, trust me, I've tried life patterns, right?
Right.
It really is like a full stalemate. It's like talking past each other. Yeah, immovable force, immovable force.
Yeah.
And I see myself with all the tribe behind me. So I'm like, what are you going to say to that? And then it doesn't.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Who are these people? Like, yeah.
matter.
That's how it feels. That's so interesting. But okay, cool. So building upon the like the comparing and contrasting, like so one thing I don't know if you remember, but our masculine temperaments are different as well. So it's like you're masculine NT or
Yeah.
double masculine NT and I'm double masculine SF.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to make of that, but I was curious to see if you were
I
seeing anything.
mean, it's just funny because I kind of actually see us a little more similar, even though those are what you're saying is the um, opposites, because we both have masculine OI. So we need the structuring to be sound. Like that's the spine of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's demon. So like in my mind, we actually like overlap more. But you're gonna be more, I don't know. Sorry to say this, but like masculine side of me is like
Yep.
list the exact sensory,
Yep.
and mine is like try to be list maker, but it
Mm-hmm.
has to be conceptual for me to even make it actionable. So
Right.
yeah, I struggle with that sometimes. There's like a language barrier a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like having my NI double activated, I've always been able to talk to any, no matter what.
Mm.
But maybe it's also from having an NE dad. So I don't know.
Right. Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then I guess the last maybe major contrast that I think would be relevant at least would be so it's interesting. Both of us have I guess in the OP system introverted animal last.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have consume last and I have sleep last. But I was curious, do you like what would you say other than of course the energy dom aspect, info dom aspect? Like what would be the major difference between those in your experience?
I don't know. That's a hard one.
Okay, well,
See any difference?
okay. So I mean, let's break it down, right? So let's start with how would you describe your experience with consume last? Like, what does that mean to you?
Um, I guess I mean conceptually, it's like skimming things instead of reading everything you're supposed to. But
Right.
um, I mean, the crashes really are like everyone was aware of this, and I wasn't, and and I'm responsible for it, and now I'm a dummy, and I'm just like sitting in the corner at home, and everybody else was aware.
Sorry.
Of
Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's have some little puppies in the background.
just bringing the vibe.
I know. Yeah. So I'm like my SI is like reloading. So can you give like an example of that though? Like practically how that would play out? Like what would be an example of everyone knew this information that you like how would you somehow be responsible for that?
I have an embarrassing one.
Right.
Well, I guess this was before the mask mandate came out in Minnesota, but
Got it.
I showed up at the grocery store not knowing that everybody was wearing masks, and
Yeah.
I wasn't breaking a law, but I was like, wow,
Yeah.
how did I not?
How did you not know this? I is
I
that a
wasn't checking my emails.
wow.
Yeah,
So it's like a tunnel vision type of vibe.
yeah.
Ah, okay.
And it can serve me well for not like distracting me in some
Right,
aspects, but in other aspects, it's like,
right,
oh boy. And
right.
sometimes
Yeah.
if I'm freaking out about something, the answer might be in reading. it's,
No, uh-oh.
it's just the new. Okay, so that's the thing. Consume is new information, okay? So it's
Okay,
not just like all the books on my bookshelf or my favorite author or these new self-help growth books. It's
okay.
like I checked the news, but I only read the articles because of the ones that I was looking for. I didn't realize this new thing is now something everyone else is on board with and aware of, and it's a new standard,
Mm,
and I didn't catch on. Or like, I'm friends with the band teacher, and last year was the concert, and I thought it was the week after because I didn't check my email.
mm.
And someone texted me from the band concert, why aren't you here? I thought you were gonna go, And I just forgot, and I didn't show up. Like, that is consume last.
Right, right.
And like Dave Powers has talked about it too. Like, he drove by with his friend, the high school, and everybody's at a school dance, and he's like, how did I not know about this? But like, I remember being that high schooler and being like, everyone went to the dance, and there were like posters all over the school. But like, I guess in my mind, I was like, people don't really go to that, or something like that.
Right.
And then you like show up, and well, I ended up showing up with a friend, but that was just like luck. But I was just like, I don't know. It's just like thinking things are a certain way based on your own opinions and everything you already gathered from talking to people, and you totally just missed that one part of the email because you didn't read all of it.
Doesn't everybody do that though?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's just to a bigger level. So
Hmm.
something has to be last, and I'm doing it less than you are. That's really all it is to it. But like, does everybody forget to sleep process? Yeah. I mean, have I had sleep last crashes that were more small?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a demon still.
This typology stuff is stressing me out. Like the reason I was like, so I don't know if you. I'm sure you. I mean, who knows if you consume this, but like apparently, like it recently resurfaced that like my initial type was like under contention. So it's like I was initially typed play blast by Dave and Shan actually, and then Dave switched it over the like, and both of those are over the phone. So it's like, was the method even right? But anyway, like, and so for me, it's like I still have been wrestling with this like blast over consume thing. Like I'm okay with being play
Yeah,
consume. I'm okay
I
with that, but
remember
it's like I
Ami
don't.
talking about this too.
It's like I don't know what play consume means then. If I'm relating like, and that goes back to the whole subjectivity slash relating thing. Is like if I relate to, oh yeah, like I don't like 80% of my emails I haven't looked at.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I don't know. I guess when you talk to people on here, you bring up like all these different authors or speakers. You have a wider variety, and I'm still like reading the same book over and over again,
Right, right,
because I
right,
want to get more out of it. And I'm
right,
also like a little slower. I'm not a sponge when it comes to like learning stuff. I wish
right,
I was. That would be
right,
great. But I'm actually kind of a slow learner. It's like bite
right,
by bite. And then I want to make it like and I'm adding it to like the permanent pattern. Where
right,
does it all fit?
right,
Because I am building like a worldview,
It's pretty good. Good. So I do have a question real quick before we channel change.
Nah,
So
list. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Okay, so I used to. This is the thing. It has to be actionable. Lists have to be actionable for them to even work. So I used to just sensory write everything I could see that should probably get done, right?
okay.
But I wouldn't really think of the concept, and then I would just get lost because it's like, well, I should also do this, and I should also do this, and I should also do this. And then I would just never get my list done, but I would get like a ton of things done.
Right.
So I have to write. I mean, sometimes it's like kitchen, laundry. And those are one thing, but it's a concept because, like, I would like to make cookies, make bread, put the dishes away, and sweep and clean things so that it's ready for the next step, you know? And so if I were to just write
Right.
every little thing,
That list would be like hundreds of items long.
exactly, and it's super boring.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to cross off when I do it, and then it goes faster. Okay? If I just think of concept, get it done, then automatically I'm like, oh, this needs to get clean. I just want things to be ready to go next time. So then I'm working very fast instead of like, okay, I need to cross this up, and now I should shine the sink, and it just I lose momentum.
Yeah.
I get lost in the details because I have SE. So if I'm making an SI list, I lose momentum, I lose action, and then I'm just not even getting stuff done, sort of. But if I have an NI list that literally is like, get the kitchen done,
Yeah.
I can get it done much
I
faster.
I admire the hell out of that crap. Like because it's like, yeah, for me, I have the opposite problem. If I put kitchen,
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I'm gonna look at that like 5 minutes later and be like, okay, like it's like there's a lot of things I could do with the kitchen. So it's like my NE would just be
Yeah.
gone, right? So
That
it's like
makes
I do need. It's like I feel very anchored with my SI. It's like,
yeah.
okay, oh yep, I do know I need to do that. All right, that's the next action. All right, cross that off, and then I can just start rolling into a project. You know. So, but no, that's really yeah. So okay, so that's
And
what you mean. Yeah, go ahead.
I grew up with parents who have SI, so it
Mm,
took me a long time to get it. I was still trying to. I was trying to SE and then SI, and then I was
mhm.
getting lost and unmotivated. And like you can, yeah. I mean, not that you would ever ask my mom, but like one of our big fights was like, I don't know how to clean my room because I didn't know how to SI clean my room. I needed to NI clean my room,
Got you.
and it was like a whole thing. And I then like being an adult, I like got a bunch of cleaning books because I was like, how can this be so hard for me? I don't understand because I just kept making SI lists
Yeah,
and not NI ones.
yeah.
And then it was like brain explosion when I figured it out.
When like what was that day like for you? Like the day, do you remember that or like the general?
I was about to have a panic attack because I was trying to organize a shelf. And I
Okay,
was like, we need bins and I need to get rid of stuff we don't need. And this just has to work for us. And I just wish I could just have this bin be. And then I said a concept. And then I was like, I can just have it be those things. And then I like had to like walk away and like think about it. Like,
wow.
what? And this would work for all of us. And this would be so great. And then I went back and I tore apart the entire closet. Like I pulled out everything.
Oh wow.
And then it was just like, whoosh, and it's still organized. I mean, sure, it gets messy, but it's like a functional system.
Right.
And then I felt like I was an adult all of a sudden. I was like, this is what it's like to be I have finally grown up.
Oh my gosh. That's good. That's good. Wow. So shifting gears a little bit. Actually, I mean, it's along similar lines with NI, but I kind of want to just kind of talk a little bit about what you've been fascinated about these days and what you've been up to these days. So I know one of the biggest things that you were telling me about was you gotten really big into the concept of atomic habits, right? So could you like
Yeah.
flesh that out? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. And then I listened to the audiobook a couple of times too. But essentially, it's like, yeah, okay, just a little backstory. It just seemed like I had a really hard time making all the things I wanted to happen. And I
Mhm.
just felt like I was wasting time all the time and it was just draining me. And I didn't understand why, but I'm like stubborn, so I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna try to figure this out. And then it wasn't till like OPS with the James Clear class actually that I was just like, oh, for one, he's speaking my language, but also trying to just like make a habit like be almost like a lifestyle change just out of nowhere was never gonna work. So I was trying to make things happen like a certain way or structure my day this way. And it was never going to stay because it just doesn't even work. But atomic habits essentially is like doing 1% changes over time.
Mhm.
And then so the book continues to talk about like how to actually like cut out things that do not help you with your goal. Like in a really simple way. So it's just like things in your house actually give you cues to do something.
Mhm.
And it's either going to take you toward your goal or away from it. So if you actually like clear off this area and only put up things that align with what you wanted to do at 4 p.m. that day, then it like is a visual cue, and then it just like automatically gets you to do the thing that you want to do without really thinking about it. Um, and then um, like what he calls like habit stacking is like, okay, so you already do this habit and this habit and this habit. So
Okay.
let's add one habit before you do that one. And let's
Right,
use
right.
this as a reward. And then you can add these few ahead of time and then you get a reward. And so then there's a visual cue and it's literally just the book is out and I'm someone who reads at 4 p.m. or something like that. This is just an example. And then yeah, so you just automatically start doing the habits and then you get a reward. So it's like cue and it's like a subconscious one. So it's like a visual cue
Right.
or like there it is and then habit and then you get a reward. And I mean sometimes it's something little, something big. So I so anyway, I just started just doing like okay, I want my morning to go this way. Because so as a mom, if I'm on, then they're on. And even if they fall apart, like I can get it back on track where we're getting things we need to done and then we have time to have fun. And
Right.
then we have time to, go outside and do all these different things. We can just have a richer life if we can get everything we need to done in the proper order. So I need to be completely on so that they can be more structured. And so I just started developing these ideas or developing the habits. And I just keep trying to tell myself it's like 1% changes over time.
Mhm.
Because that's the other thing that just like kills my motivation is like, I want to just do like a whole revamp. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
never worked for me. But doing like smaller changes. So, like, I have a morning routine that I got down to like 20 minutes now, which used to take me an hour because I cut out all the things that were interrupting my time and making it like streamlined. And then I get coffee. And that's my reward. And then I'm ready for, anything my kids need. And I don't know. I don't need to go through my day, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Like, um, and so over, I guess, what is it, like 5 months? How long has it been since I've been working on these habits? But I just have more time to do what I want, and our life actually looks like the kind of life I want, which is like, of course, we get responsibilities done, chores done, cleaning, routine. Like we want to have, like we want to like a life that works, and then we have time. So we have time to do like other things that we want. So one of the things that he did talk about was like a family who I think they had like chess champions in their family, and so they structured
Okay.
their life around chess. Like, great, good for them. But like that opened my eyes to realize like I actually have already been nurturing a lifestyle for my children that encourages like creativity and drawing and building things, and they just naturally already do that. And so to continue to keep our life structured without it being like chaos, and still like cultivating a lifestyle that just encourages like creative play, like is exactly in line with my goals. And
Mhm.
so I would say that in some aspects this atomic habits concept has been life changing. And I think like having like structure and like a system that works is really what I don't know, helps me
Yeah.
with my personality type, especially.
Yeah. That's really good. I think what I really like about how you approach the atomic habits or how you like internalized it is you really like simplified it into the 1% improvement over time. Because I've read Atomic Habits and I was fascinated by it as well, but like my SI got overwhelmed with like I've like thousands of habits I want to do. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So I'm like I'm not gonna do that.
I
Like
know.
it's like even with the habit stacking, I'm like I'm not doing that. Like so that's why I dropped it.
Yeah,
But I think having that, yeah, I guess having that NI summary or that NI kind of reminder of, oh no, like the whole point of Atomic Habits is just 1% improvement over time. So it's like, yeah, even if you're not doing all the habits you want, as long as you're following that principle, I guess you're good.
yeah.
I think that's a lot more encouraging. So I think it's really cool. Yeah.
I'm just not as overwhelmed anymore, which is really cool. Because yeah, it's just crazy to have a why be a demon but be masculine and be something that I feel extremely responsible for. It's just like,
Right.
it's a lot. It's a lot. Let me see if I can turn this light on again.
All right.
Does this work? Or does it just make everything look red?
Oh, orange, whatever. It is
Right.
what it is. Yeah.
All
We'll just.
right. I'm your
Well,
orange friend now.
all right. So yeah. So that's really cool. So let me ask this because I think we've had, and this may be more of like an NI question, but it's incorporating the atomic habits is like, do you see the habits like stacking into a future for yourself or something like that? Like, how are you? Yeah. Okay.
I feel like it gives me more flexibility actually.
Oh, okay.
So, I just feel like I have more free time and people can, well, I mean, okay. I mean, part of it is like I'm a mom. So, like,
Right.
I'm also in charge of, like, okay, first of all, my husband is very clean. So, I
Okay.
don't mean to be like he doesn't help around the house because he very much does. But,
Okay.
um, I still have a lot of cleaning responsibilities, just being a functional adult and having a routine to keep up with things that I kind of don't like doing, but I just, it's just part of life. Then we have the ability to have people stop over at any time, even
Right.
though my kids have like crafts everywhere. We have a system of where it goes or that they pick up after themselves, um, that we can just go do something else because they have a routine of keeping up with their chores, getting their schoolwork done. It's not like a big stressor if there's a test coming
Right.
because we're on top of those things. So we have more flexibility with our life. And I guess I'm not sure how else to word it, but it just gives me more time to, yeah, I guess be prepared for what's next.
Right.
So it's like I have to continue on with the planning and make it streamlined, and then I can just add, I can stack things that are extra on that would maybe normally overwhelm me. That now I have a
Right.
system in place, so I can just add to it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like having this interview, like I think normally I wouldn't be able to do it this late at night, right?
Right. Right.
But I have a system with how I handle dinner now and what I do with the kids, and I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean,
No, so that's really cool, and that's really cool that you're attributing that to the habits. I mean, because I mean, now that you bring it up, I mean, it is really admirable that you're even able to do this interview at all. Because like, as a parent, like that's like chaos, like to like at all times, you know. So it's like the fact that you have systems in place, you know, to kind of carve out time. I think that's really cool, honestly. Um, okay, really cool. Is I guess let me ask this: like other than the kind of what you were mentioning with your kids kind of encouraging this creative atmosphere, like where do you think, whether it's your habits or just your intention, like where do you see your trajectory pushing you to or going like in the next few years?
I guess the first thing that came to mind was like more vacations.
Mm,
I'd like to be able to take more trips, either as a family or with just my husband.
right.
Um, that's a goal that we have that probably wouldn't be as feasible. And then I don't know. I mean, it's tricky because they're still pretty young. The kids really are. So I'm really in the thick of
Right.
motherhood being a huge thing. But over time. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Like I just the other thing that this has allowed me to do is like be able to paint more
Mm,
and pick up hobbies that used to define me in an aspect that I have since quite a bit neglected. Um, and yeah, that's been exciting. So I guess I don't know.
yeah,
I
no.
still don't really know what my life looks like in the future. Um, because it's like also like whatever my husband wants to do too. But
Right.
um, I think it sets us up for options, which is really good. And I kind of like just being open to options too.
Right.
I'm turning more orange. This is very
I
interesting.
yeah. So really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually like now gonna look at the live chat. I've not like looked at it that much.
Let me see.
Just
Trying to
kind of
stutter.
scan through, yeah, while you're doing that, I'm gonna see if we can find some stuff. Uh Prem likes your background.
Thanks. Nope, that's now I'm just white. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I
This is all we
think
get.
we
Thanks,
got
Grim.
I think we got the
I can't
FI.
stay with it actually.
Mm-mm. Apparently Anissa hated me on the Discord. So I'm like, all right.
Maybe you just come on real strong.
I mean, I'm not like the best human being like on the planet. Like I'm not bad, but like it's just like
Right?
sometimes I am kind of like it kind of goes back to the masculine FI action. I'm like, just I don't vibe with you. It's like so I'm gonna be not vibing with you. Just gotta deal with
Yeah.
it. I'm see here. Let me see here. There's a lot of
Orange is your color. Thanks.
oh, is that what that said? Okay, so there's a lot of. I think we're good. Oh, someone has a comment here. Oh, this is a question. Okay. Did we mention this or no?
No.
No. Okay.
My chemicals move so easily into adrenaline fight mode, but even if I consciously choose to respond more calmly, people can tell my body's reacting. Yeah. I guess. Yep. Okay. I mean, I didn't know if this was like because I'm a decider, but like
Okay.
definitely the adrenaline pumps, and I like my brain starts to feel like it's an emergency. Like,
Mm,
yeah. Um, I sometimes feel panicked to try to resolve it too soon, and I don't know.
yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. I think we got the any. Alright, alright, alright. There's a lot of people here. Hi
I
guys.
love it. This is awesome.
Hi guys. Let's see. I don't know what this is about. Do I think I love the wait, what?
Do you
Do
think
I
I'm in an FI demon state when you talk about feelings? Reminds me of Jocko with his dramatic voice.
is this Leon?
It's either Leon or Jono.
Not sure, bro. I don't know what to say. Like whatever, whichever one. I don't know, whichever one's good. Apparently infodoms can be fun. That sounds fake, but okay. But actually,
Sherry is fun.
I feel like we can be fun in very limited times. Like I would say, in my experience, like I think, for example, the people I interviewed with that were infodoms, those are really fun. But it's like outside of that space, it just becomes like, oh, what's going on, and just very technical and all that.
I feel
Um,
like they can also pack in a ton of things. Like, I think
okay.
there's like a pacing that happens with like energy doms, and infodoms can just like, now we're gonna do this, now we're gonna do that, now we're gonna do this. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's why I thought I was like more cat like. I didn't
Mm,
understand like the cat mode before. And I was like, what do you mean? I just want to sit on the couch for a while and you guys are gonna go water rafting. I'm just like
yeah, nice. Yeah, and I think it's just like just the stacking. For at least for me, it's like when I stack like that, it's it's just so disrespectful of the energy. It's like, oh, who cares? Like, let's just get it all done.
yeah.
Like like it's almost the way I experience it is like it's almost as though we do that just to say we got it all done. It's not even to have the experience
It's
in
like a
some sense.
pride thing maybe. Yeah.
It's
I mean, no disrespect. It's like a pride thing, right?
oh for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the trophy. It's like, oh yeah, I got all this done. Like are you still in the class?
I took a break because
Okay, no problem.
time to do
No,
all the
no,
homework.
no problem, no problem. So, without spoiling anything, so there was a recent person who got typed that was sleep last. And like one of the things that they said was like, "Oh, I'm trying to live like 3 lives in one." It's like and you know what I'm saying? Like some dumb shit. Like sorry. It's some dumb like it's like what are you talking about? Like now I'm mocking I'm like making fun of this dude, but I absolutely have that same energy. And it really does come from like you want to do it just to say you did it. It's not even like it sounds cool. That's the only reason you're saying it. Like it's stupid.
I've seen it. I agree with you. I'm not sure what to say.
You
I just
know,
feel like sometimes when people don't want to like pace themselves or hear it, I kind of am like, 'cause I'll find out. I don't
yeah,
know what else to say.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so good. I think we're good. So, closing out here. Is there anything else like? Oh, I think this would be a good place to close out. I
Okay.
think one of the biggest things that um you cared about is kind of countering stereotypes. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything else, whether it's for your type or anything you've been noticing recently in the OP community that you want to kind of just like address or kind of just talk about a little bit?
Well, I mean, I could generalize it a little too and just say
Yeah.
that like sometimes people have hurts from their past and they may be projecting it on a certain personality type. And the truth is, we are all unique and different. And feelers aren't always the most tender, kind people. And thinkers are not the harsh, cold people that you can stereotype. I do see that feelers have been forced to work on that to thrive in their life, and thinkers have had to get solid in their logic just to survive. Um, but like sometimes we project our own demons on
Mm.
other people, and it's a trigger because it's something that they should have been working on, which is unfortunate. But it's not okay to take it out on other people, and it's not okay to take it out on other functions because we're all unique, we're all different. And even if I am type twins with someone who hurt you, I mean, not just you, but just in
Yeah.
general,
Right.
um, that doesn't mean that next person is going to do that. It's very important to like know and give people the benefit of the doubt, the opportunity to grow. And you don't know if they grew up in a different environment and they were forced to expound on their demons, and maybe their saviors aren't even as strong as you would like assume or think.
Mm.
Um, and I just I just want people to stop blaming masculine TE for a lot of harshness, because actually demon TE in a demon swing is also very harsh.
Yes.
And people don't realize that, and there can be projecting as well. And I don't know, I guess that's fine. We all have an opportunity to grow and to do better next time. And yeah, I don't know. I am a very tender person, especially to my family. Like my children call me huggy mom. Like I'm a very like huggy person.
Yeah.
I really enjoy giving compliments because I maybe it's because I like validation. So I want to give it freely and intelligently. So I'm not just like, of course I can be like, you look great, but I'm saying it genuinely because I believe it, not just like I'm trying to appease you. And yeah, I did grow up with feelers, so I am aware that people have very tender feelings and that that's what they lead with. And
Mm.
so there's a way to be efficient while talking to a more sensitive person, and it is to be softer. Sorry, I said efficient. That's still kind of a cold thing to say, but it's true.
Yeah.
If you want to get things done and you're only focused on the thing or the project or the goal, you still want to be efficient in it. And so it makes more sense, even if it seems roundabout, to like talk to them in a soft, kind way
Right.
and appeal to their values and feelings. But actually, it's more direct than. No, they still didn't do it. Now they left, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Really good. Yeah. I have nothing else to say to that. So, really appreciate it, Savannah. Thank you so much for joining. Truly a
Thanks for having
pleasure.
me, Reggie.
Yeah, absolutely. And so to do my little SI cleanup, so a few little announcements and all that fun stuff. Really appreciate all you guys joining. I think this was like the highest turnout. So Savannah, you're popular.
Yeah,
But for sure,
it's more
everyone.
people.
Yep, the tribe here. Um, I do have two more, or I have tentatively two more interviews this week. I'm like sleep blasting it. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna take a break after that.
Gonna wing it.
It just so happened that I could make it happen this week. What I'm also considering doing after, or not even considering, what I'm gonna do after I reach the 10th episode or the 10th interview or whatever, is I do plan to have like a solo like sleep processing session where it's like it could be a Q&A, and then I'll just kind of reflect on everything that I thought was really meaningful over the first 10 episodes, right? So that would be, just be on the lookout for that. Since I'm the only one doing it, I can actually put out a definitive time and be like, okay, I get super insecure about putting out a time. Just, I have like trust issues. I swear to God, like I can't just say, oh, I'm having an interview because like people flake. But since I know it's just me, I'll just put out a definitive time,
Yeah.
and you guys can join if you guys are interested. So closing up with that, and then also I am, once I'm done with that 10th episode, I am looking for more people to interview. So if you guys are interested, feel free to reach out and we can,
Someone like Anessa. I'm just kidding.
yeah, yes, like what the hell, where has she been, like,
Like,
anyway, yeah,
no,
anyway.
she's been real busy.
No, I'm yes, I can imagine. I can imagine the sleep last life. But yeah, so reach out. Anything else? Oh yeah, like, so I'm getting into the habit of this. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Okay, let me actually do my little awkward preface. Like, if you enjoyed it, feel free to either like it, leave a comment. If you have a question, feel free to leave a comment, or feedback, leave a comment. I do check all those. And then yeah, if you'd like this type of content or want to see more, then yeah, of course, subscribe. That's going to allow you to see the notifications and all that fun stuff. So, but like, no pressure. Like, do whatever you want,
A
bruh.
little pressure. Just
No. Do what you want, bruh.
no, I
All
can
right.
tell Web, it's fine.
Oh, you got it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So if there's nothing else, really appreciate you guys. And then again, Savannah, thank you so much. And I will see you on the next one.
Cool.
Cool beans.